Frostborn just released another huge update with hundreds of hidden changes. Some of those changes you are going to love, others you are not going to love, but maybe you should love. Others you're going to hate, and I don't know. And then at least one thing you're going to hate that, yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so the first change that you're going to notice right away is the world map. They changed a ton of stuff. They added these ships, which is a preview of what I think is going to be a future soon update, which I'll explain a little bit later on. They removed several things like Freya's Forest, which I'm assuming now when we get to this lighthouse we'll be able to see it. They moved some things around. This is mostly the same. They got rid of the Sanctum of Tyr and they replaced Odin. They moved Odin from down here up to here. So they did a lot of changes to the world map. In Newheim they made a really big change with the ship captain. You can now act like you're gonna go on a scouting expedition with Draker, Brigantine, Galleon. None of this exists in the game yet, but it does seem like it is going to be one of the future updates. The reason I say that is because if you look at the crafting menu and you go down, you will see a bunch of new items that you can craft called buckshot, cannonball, chain shot, a helm. All 4 of these items can be crafted, and when you craft them, they become personal items. So I think what that means is that they're going to make these ship expeditions something that is coming in a soon upcoming update, which I'm excited about. I know a lot of you guys are going to be excited about the idea of getting with your family and going somewhere, where Vikings. It makes sense. But personally, the only thing that I'm a little bit sad about is by removing one of the sanctums and adding this new thing. I was really excited about seeing some new sanctums. Like one thing I thought, and maybe they could do this with Thor, but to create a PvP sanctum, kind of like how the Tomb of Ash is a PvP zone, but also like you're doing all these obstacles. Imagine a sanctum that was PvP and you had to either team up with teams or they could betray you. Maybe that's too complicated and maybe it would bring out our worst sides, but it sounds epic to me. So that's kind of where I was hoping they were going, but it seems like they're going to go a little bit more with these expeditions, which again is cool. They can do a lot of things. They can add new expeditions, and that once we get bored of the old ones, or I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing with that, but it definitely is going to add a lot of diversity to the game. So that's exciting. They made over 20 changes to the look of different armor. The biggest change would be the purple medium armor, which looks like this now, but they made changes to almost all of the armor. They also made it to where you can remove the look of your helmet. That is not only in the character screen but also in the game. You do no longer have to look like you're wearing a helmet all the time. They added several new hairstyles that we have not seen before. They added a new battle rating to the game, and they added a description of all of your character stats, including a new rating called the battle rating. You are able to see this battle rating on an enemy, which gives you a good hint on whether or not you should pick that fight. They changed energy from 200 back to 100. I'm assuming that is to get ready for the global release. They made the shield last a lot longer in the game. They made some significant graphics change to the Ash Staff. They added weapons to all of the armor packs. They added the shield to where you can now move and you still are able to keep the shield for up to 10 seconds unless you attack or use some kind of potion. They increased the graphics of the game. You can see the little rain, and if you go to like a snowy area, there will be like a little bit of blizzard flurries. I honestly thought that Frostborn graphics were already at the top of what mobile games could even do, but they were somehow able to make the graphics even better in the game. They updated the game to fit the newest version of Android. They might do that every time, but I only know that this time because my new phone was not able to play the last version of Frostborn, but is able to play this one. You can see that they also significantly increased the graphics on like the invisible bosses, which look at how amazing these graphics look. I mean, the incredible rain. They also made the shoulder plates on the plate armor a little closer. It just looks awesome. You'll see here that when you activate one potion, it puts all potions on a 15-second cooldown. They kept it to where when you're level 1, you have 100 hit points, but every time you level up, you get 1 extra hit point. And then I assume when you hit level 99, you get those 3 hit points, because at level 99, you get 200 hit points. Because at level 99, you have 200 base hit points, and then if you have a class that gives you more hit points, it gets added on top of that, with a level 99 Protector 3 totaling at 300 hit points. They nerfed the throwing cleaver from 100 to 80, which was a really smart change. And then one change that I know a lot of you guys are going to be sad about, but I think once you learn how the new PvP system works, you guys are actually going to really like it. They changed it to where healing salves and healing bombs now have quite a long warm up before they're able to activate. Now, the healing salve does do 150 health, and the healing bomb does 40 to everyone on your team. And once it does that warm up, it does it instantly, but if you get attacked while doing it, it will cancel it out. So these are no longer in the heat of battle potions that you should use. So these are no longer items that you should use in the heat of battle. Maybe if you're on a team and they're able to protect you for a second, you can go do it real quick, but it's going to be very rare when that happens. For the most part, these two items are not going to be used in the middle of a battle. They also removed the ability for bandages and food to stack their healing. And so right now, a lot of you are probably freaking out, but let me explain real quick what they did with classes. In this update, they made 118 changes to the different classes. I do not have time in this video to give you all of those changes, but basically they balanced out the classes. Most of these changes are that they just reduced the cooldown on almost all of them. No matter what class you are going to be able to use your skills so much more often. Those skills also consume 1 weapon durability, but honestly, totally worth it. Some of these skills do crazy amounts of damage for that 1 weapon durability, and now we can use them all the time. It really makes us feel like we are that character. So I don't have time to go into all of the different changes, so I'm just gonna give you a real quick overview of the biggest changes that this new PvP system does for the game. The first change is that the healer is now one of the strongest characters and is probably the strongest team character in the game. The healer can now heal almost instantly, heal a big group of people, and can heal 200 healing, and can heal all of its teammates 200 health within 5 seconds. So 800 healing in a game that healing is so rare. So the healer has now become incredibly powerful for a team. And by removing so much healing in the game, the Protector 3, which was one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful character in the old Frostborn, has now been nerfed a lot because he can no longer heal faster than multiple people can damage him. That is one of the problems with the old Protector, is he could just tank forever and he could heal faster than you could damage him, and they definitely fixed that. And that is no longer the case because healing is so rare. So any character can kill other characters if they have enough time, which is uncomfortable, but by adding that extra 100 health, it's almost as if we already drank a healing salve plus some before we even got in the fight. We have a lot more health. We're not going to just get one-shotted anymore, which of course nerfs the assassin. They can no longer kill you before you even had a chance to think, but they still can get a really good head start and kill you. So the assassin is still powerful if it is able to get that first hit on you, but it's not such an end game that you don't have a chance to try to fight back. They also nerfed the bandit, and in my opinion they nerfed the bandit too much. Its blinding rune now has a 3-second wind up before it stuns, still stuns your teammates. I think they nerfed the bandit a little too hard, but you know, they're still learning. They'll still change it up. If the bandit's worthless now, they'll fix it. So the bandit was really OP in the last Frostborn. Now I think they nerfed him too much. And then they buffed the illusionist. The illusionist was kind of hard to use. Well, now they made the illusionist a lot better. Not only does he also get to use his skills a lot more often, but his clones now have 60 hit points and still share his armor. So it's actually a little difficult to kill his clones now. Meanwhile, he is just shredding you with all of the damage that he does with them. So other than that, all of the classes have just been shifted just a little bit. As a general rule, if they are a damage dealer, this was a good update for them. If they are a melee character or a tanky character, this might not have been that great. But they did also buff the Thrasher. I forgot to mention that. They made his leap instant. You no longer have to wind up, which makes him pretty powerful. He can just jump in there and stun everyone really quickly, which is a really good move. So that's all the changes I'm going to cover in this video, but once Global comes out, I'm not only going to do a hidden changes video, but I'm also going to do a balance update video. Last update, the research team already compiled a ton of information that allowed us to know which classes counter which and how hard they are countered, or whether or not they're neutral. And so in the future, once Global comes out, I will do a hidden changes video, and then I will also do a balance change update where I'm talking about, hey, this used to counter this, but now they're neutral, or now they do counter. For example, in this case, the healer was countered by a lot of the different classes, but now the healer is actually pretty good at solo PvP because the healer has become the ultimate tank, because the healer has so much health now, being able to heal itself 200 health in just 5 seconds. Still a little bit weak on the attack, but that extra health makes it be able to hold its own in solo PvP. Whereas last update, the healer could not hold its own in solo PvP to almost anybody. They changed the description on the Orb of Protection. They added 8 new sound effects in the game, including when raiding starts, blueprints, looting. They added a ton of new sound effects. In fact, they probably added a lot more than 8 sound effects, but that is what we found. They renamed what we were calling Healer 0 for Cure. They nerfed the Dispel Potion duration from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. They slowed down how fast you get hungry and thirsty by half. The Survivor Pack now has 10 bandages instead of 1. They added weapons to the armor packs in the store, and they also added these really awesome images of these guys with those weapons and armor. They did a lot of work on the raiding matchmaking system. Apparently it's the best it's ever been, and we are the most likely to connect with the people at our level. They also fixed several things in the raid mechanics. Previously, some of you had reported that you had gotten matched in a raid even though you had a shield, and I thought it had to do with Odin's. Well, I'm starting to think that I was wrong on that. I think there might have been a bug with the raiding system. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure if that was a bug in the system, the devs were able to fix it because they were talking something about that in this update. They made some graphic changes to all of the different chests in the game. They added the Rusty Knife and Apprentice Staff, which I think the Rusty Knife is too expensive, but what I love about these 2 weapons is now every class in the game has a starting weapon. So I hope they continue doing this and add a green weapon for every class in the game, and then eventually add a blue weapon for every class in the game. They added 2 new staffs in the game, the Healer Staff, which is a green support staff, and then they added the Wizard Staff, which is a green Mage Staff. So again, they're adding more weapons in the game in a way that balances all of the classes so that what you're finding in the zones better represents all of the classes instead of mostly focusing on warriors, which is how it used to be. They nerfed the Vran Axe from 74 to 66. This is a heartbreaking change, but honestly, the Vran Axe was OP for a blue weapon, and so it kind of makes sense that they did this. When you start out the game, they added this button where you can click on it and it shows what that class will be when they have their full armor on. They fixed the bug in Act 10 where you could no longer get the Use 2 Throwing Axe quest completed, and so obviously now you can. They added backpack durability, so I definitely think that this is a good change for level 1 and level 2 backpacks. I know that a lot of you guys are gonna hate me for saying that, but honestly, level 2 backpacks just become so populated that it's just a rough go. Honestly, level 2 backpacks have just become so overpopulated that they've kind of lost their value. So I kind of like this change. Now, I don't really like this change in conjunction with the fact that so many level 2 backpacks can be bought, because I don't know how I feel about that. But when I was first playing this game, there were no level 2 backpacks on the server, so I had to go and grind out Odin's and get those fasteners and build it myself, and it was deeply satisfying. So the one thing that I really hate about this change is that they also did it for a level 3 backpack. Honestly, I just think that was a really dumb move on their part. The level 3 backpack is something you pay for, so now I think people are going to be less motivated to buy it. I think it was a really dumb move by them, unless they added it to the loot pool, but we looked and we did not find it anywhere. So I don't think the level 3 backpack is findable still. You can only buy it. And then now the durability on the backpack only gets ruined if you die. So if you never take your level 2 backpack or level 3 backpack into PvP, if you never die at your base at starvation because you forgot about the game, then you're good. You're not going to lose durability on your backpack. And so hopefully it's going to be okay. But honestly, I just think that was not a great move. And then lastly, and the saddest change that they made is that they removed the repair table from the crafting table, and you can now buy it for 300 coins. They also made it a personal item, so you can't even buy it and trade it with someone who's free to play for resources. So I am definitely very sad about this change. I don't like it. I can see that in the devs' mind, they could be like, well, the repair table only repairs weapons that you get, so it's a luxury that you should pay for, and a free-to-play player can just go get more weapons. I don't know. The repair table is such a huge deal because you can repair the weapon that you want, and I just don't like it. I don't think they should have made it to where it was not accessible to free-to-play players. I hope that they add it to the crafting table, even if they make it really expensive, or like you have to be level 95 to get it. Even if they made it to where like the stable that, you know, you have to build it and then build it again with all of these different resources and finally finish it, as long as, unlike the stable, which isn't in the game, it actually is craftable, then I'm fine with that too. They can make it as hard as they want, as long as they just make an option for free-to-play players to get it, then I'm cool with it. But they didn't, so it's a pay-to-win part of the game now. I'm really sad about this. I know a lot of you guys are probably freaking out. You're thinking, oh, Kefir, this is what Kefir does. They make a game pay-to-win. I don't think so with these devs. Like, I really don't think they're gonna make this game pay-to-win. Made a lot of friends with the devs in this game. I could be wrong. I just don't think that that's the direction they're going. But obviously this was a bad change in my opinion. So I don't know what to say. Okay guys, so I'm adding this to the end of the video because I've heard that a lot of you guys lost your accounts. The devs are working to fix it. So if you have lost your account in Frostborn, do not worry, the devs will fix it. They can just do a server rollback if they need to. But to lighten the mood, I thought I would show you guys this amazing clip from one of the bugs that we found, which I hope the devs didn't fix. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but it has just been making us laugh so hard. This is what happens if you click the Marauder button and the Healing Salve button back and forth really quickly. You can make this bug happen. and every time I watch it, I just crack up. So while you guys are waiting for your accounts to come back, just it never gets old. Okay. Anyways, guys, hope your accounts get back soon. See you next time.